We have a pretty good idea of who brings the power in the cinematic universe. We even have a good sense of who is near the top tier of power when it comes to Earth 616, Marvel's main continuity. But what about when it comes to Marvel's now gone but still awesome and brutal Ultimate Universe? Welcome back, Nerd Squad. Today we're going to return to this destroyed but more gritty world of Earth 1610 or 1610 as we explore the top 10 most powerful Ultimate Marvel superheroes, taking a look at some of our favorite heroes from the Ultimate Universe, and of course those who can kick the most butt. Let's dive right into it and get counting, shall we? Number 10, She-Hulk. In Ultimates, Jennifer Walters is not She-Hulk, Betty Ross is. She ended up stealing the formula that would cause her transformation from Walters, who here is a doctor and scientist instead. Betty needed the formula to try and save Bruce Banner, the Hulk, who Nick Fury had sent Wolverine to assassinate. Betty had tried everything else she could think of to interfere with Fury's plans, and this was the only option really left to her. Stealing the formula, she was pursued, but injected it in time, becoming the Jade Giantess She-Hulk. The serum made it so that rage was not a part of the transformation, meaning that Betty got to keep her wits and maintain a sense of level-headedness while transformed. She would end up pursuing the Hulk and reconnect with him, but the two would ultimately end up fighting one another. Afterwards, She-Hulk found herself defeated by Wolverine and was later taken in by S.H.I.E.L.D., only apprehended likely because Wolverine made her wear a collar that basically prevented her from transforming. Number 9, Miles Morales. One of my favorite characters to come from 1610, we have Spider-Man, aka Miles Morales. Miles was so powerful in terms of his popularity that he was one of the few characters to survive the destruction of Earth 1610. He ended up moving over to Earth 616, given a place there once the world was reconstructed by Molecule Man and Reed Richards in the Fantastic Four. Molecule Man actually ended up saving Miles because he ended up giving him a burger when he was hungry. Gotta love those pocket burgers. In a way, it's always been Miles' quirkiness and kindness that has remained one of his greatest strengths. But aside from that, he's also one of the most powerful Spider-Men, or spider-folk, around. He not only has the proportional strength of a spider, making him super strong, but can also camouflage his body to match his surroundings, rendering him pretty much invisible to the untrained eye, and comes with his Venom Blast, which allows him to deal devastating electrical shocks to his opponents. Now, every time I say Venom Blast, I just think of the Jessica Drew Spider-Woman cartoon from the 70s. Oh my goodness, Venom Blast. Number 8, Invisible Woman. Sue would end up in the ultimate reality married to Ben Grimm, but initially would fall for Reed, just like in the Earth 616 reality. She would also stay loyal to him for quite some time, despite the fact that, like on Earth 616, he tended to become obsessed with science to the point of, well, kind of ignoring her. Sue herself was also a genius and ended up with 4 doctorates in biochemical science before she entered her 20s. She possesses an IQ of 170, not far off from Tony Stark in this reality. Her powers allow her to turn invisible, generate force fields, and shields. She can use these shields to protect defensively or to destroy and attack offensively. Many times, Sue has used her abilities to save her teammates' lives. Number 7, Black Bolt. Black Bolt in the Ultimate Universe has power that is expected to be at the same level as his Earth 616 counterpart, which would mean that, well, he's pretty strong. While Black Bolt is super powerful, I mostly put him on this list because, well, I like his costume better in the Ultimate Universe, and I wanted to talk about that. I know that doesn't make him more powerful having a cooler outfit, but he still is likely one of the most powerful heroes in all of the Ultimate Universe, just like he is one of the most powerful in the main continuity besides. But also, that costume though. Honestly, overall, I think many of the Inhumans look way more intimidating and interesting in the Ultimate Universe. And sure, to some the Inhumans might not seem like heroes in this universe because they don't really fight for humanity, but their own heroes and King Black Bolt do fight for them as a people. So to his own people, to the Inhumans, Black Bolt is definitely still a hero. Number 6, Wolverine. Wolverine is similar to his Earth 616 counterpart, but with a bit of a different history and family life. He actually has a son in this reality who's very different from his other children from Earth 616, who we're used to seeing. Jimmy Hudson is Wolverine's son, and we later learned that he was raised by a pal of Logan's who he'd made during his service in Iraq. James Hudson took in the child and changed his name legally from Howlett to Hudson. Jimmy grew up not knowing about his true parents and his true origins until he got into a car accident which caused his mutant powers to manifest. He also has a healing factor and claws like his dad. In the Ultimate Universe, Wolverine's healing abilities are thought of as being so intense that many believe that his mutant power may not actually be healing, but instead are survival and adaptability based, which tells you just how OP those powers can be at times. Number 5, President Captain America. Not only was Captain America a hero in the Ultimate Universe, but he was also the President of the United States for a time. So he had political powers as well as superpowers. Pretty impressive. Steve's story is a little different here. Instead of Bucky going MIA, he survived while Steve was lost for a time, frozen in ice. Bucky and Steve's fiance bonded over his loss, which only brought them closer together, and they ended up happily married. When Steve returned, it was later revealed that his fiance had his child while he was gone, who had grown up to become the Red Skull. La gasp. Steve's powers are similar to his main continuity counterpart. He is a super soldier and as such has superhuman speed, strength, durability, reflexes, and has somewhat enhanced healing as well as dramatically slowed aging. Just like on Earth 616, he is also known for being a skilled and gifted leader and brilliant tactician. Number 4, Kitty Pryde. In the Ultimate Universe, Kitty Pryde would end up as the leader of the mutants of Utopia. In this reality, she still has her powers to walk on air and water and never needed to hold her breath in order to phase. On her first mission out with the X-Men, Kitty snuck aboard their jet. In fact, her mother had made Professor Xavier promise not to allow her daughter to get involved with any X-Men missions or any Danger Room training. On this mission that she was not supposed to be on, Kitty was the one to save the day when Wolverine and Cyclops were about to be attacked by a supercomputer. Kitty phased through the computer, rendering it useless. Here, Kitty took up the codenames Shadowcat and later on Shroud. I love the codename Shroud for her, and would even go on to fight Galactus and win! You know you're powerful if you can fight Galactus and survive that. Number 3, Thor. In this reality, we first weren't sure if Thor was actually Thor or just a man suffering from severe delusions. Thorleif Goleman, it turned out, was simply the name that Thor had been given on Midgard when he was banished after the death of his father and the fall of Asgard. In the end, Thor would remember who he was and would take a suit and hammer that were made to reflect his traditional Norse god power set, promising to use the suit and its abilities to protect Midgard. Thor would help to defeat the Hulk and, in his fight against the X-Men, best Storm as well. Eventually, he would get his own powers back, but either with his suit powers or his natural powers, he's pretty intimidating. He would also end up joining the Ultimates and befriending Captain America and Iron Man. And friends, before we move on to this next spot, if you are loving this list and you want to visit some more alternate universes or just go back more to the Ultimates, let us know by giving this video a thumbs up. Number 2, Iron Man. Iron Man has a bit of a twist to his origin in the Ultimate Universe. He was actually born as a twin to the Starks and has a twin brother named Gregory. Tony exhibited a brilliant mind and intellect from a young age, and his father, Howard, hoped that he would one day take over the company. But initially, Tony was kind of resistant, preferring to create his own company instead, which he built from the ground up with his then girlfriend, Josie Gardner. Eventually, though, his dad would persuade him to join the family business, prompting him and Josie to split after he left their company. Later on, he'd get lost in his own work after Josie died during a plane crash, which it turns out was the work of Mandarin International, an enemy of Stark Industries. Oh no. Tony is even more powerful in this reality, having his brain affected by exposure to radiation from an infinity gem. This granted him the ability to communicate and control technology with his mind. He can kind of do that in 616, I think, but I don't know if it's to this extent. Number 1, Captain Marvel. Yep, in the reality of the Ultimates, Rick Jones is one of the most powerful heroes around. I know, it sounds crazy, but this is because here he isn't just a friend to many heroes and like BFF of the Hulk. Instead, he is a hero in his own right. He was granted powers by the Watcher, given power strong enough to enable him to save the planet. He would go on to take up the alias Nova and eventually Captain Marvel, but he's also been referred to before as the Sentry, just to give you an idea of what level of power we're dealing with here. He can emit energy blasts strong enough to harm Galactus, even after he combined with Galactus. And he can teleport across the universe or galaxies, or simply teleport others such a great distance if he wishes. He can also teleport to other dimensions and possesses cosmic awareness, which can be focused or guided by the Watcher. What are some of your favorite Ultimate heroes? Who do you miss the most from the Ultimate Universe? What are some of your favorite alternate Earths from Marvel? Let us know in the comments below. This has been Top 10 Nerd, and I am your host, Amanda McKnight, saying thank you so much for watching and reminding you to stay nerdy, YouTube.